Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. So, we are actually in session number 73, and we have been discussing chapter 7. So, we will continue our discussion from where we left in the last session. And before we start the session, let's begin with the Pranam Mantras. The Pranam Mantras will be displayed on the screen, and all of you can uh, chant along with me. That will be really nice. So please join your palms and chant along with me the Pranam Mantras. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON and my beloved spiritual master. So let's begin with the Pranam Mantras. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to session number 73 of the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. We have been intensely discussing chapter 7, and right now we are in a very nice section of chapter 7 where Krishna is revealing some more interesting things about who is going to surrender to him and those who are not going to surrender to him. So let us try to understand this very nice section of the Bhagavad Gita. And before we begin that, let us have a quick recap of what we have actually discussed in the previous session. In the previous session, we had discussed verse number 12, 13, and 14. And in 14, very nicely, Krishna had said that how that there are these people, Daivi Esha Gunamai, Mamamaya Duratyaya, Mam Eva Ye Prapadyante, Mayam Etam Tarantite. So, here in this verse, Krishna has explained Daivi Esha Gunamai. So, this energy of mine is daivi. It is very, very special. It is not an ordinary. It is a very super powerful energy of the Lord. And Krishna is saying that this energy of mine, mama maya duratyaya. So this is mama maya. Why is he saying mama maya? Because it is belonging to him. And Krishna, in fact, is saying that this is a very integral and important energy of mine. That's why he's considering and saying it as, calling it as Mama Maya. It is my Maya. And this Maya is Duratyaya. Of course, now when we hear this, most people understand that, oh, Maya means very dangerous. You know, Maya Jal, they say, and we are all in this Maya Jal. And when we are in this Maya Jal, it is difficult to come out of it. So many people have this some sort of negative connotation towards Maya, but we should understand this is an energy of the Lord. It is Daivi. It is very, very potent, very powerful in nature, and it is a personal energy of the Lord. So, in that sense, it is not actually something which is going to. It is material or that has any negative connotation. It has a specific duty. This particular energy called Maya, the external energy, has a specific duty, and that duty is to keep the people in this world, in this material world, illusion. It always keeps this people in this world away from truth, and that truth is Krishna, right? So we should understand this very, very important aspect. So we should know that Krishna is saying this because although this is a very, very powerful, extremely powerful energy which is difficult to overcome, and Lord has specifically assigned a duty to this particular energy, and that energy is to bewilder people, right? Nobody can escape this. So but Krishna is saying that okay, this energy is very powerful, but then Krishna is also saying that mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. So Krishna is saying that oh, okay, this energy is very powerful, but you know what? Mameva ye prapadyante. If you surrender to me, then mayam etam tarantite. You can actually get out of this world. Just see. So it's very nice to understand here. You know, this energy of Lord called Maya is like a perfect grihini. Now you see this at home. The woman has full rights to go to every nook and corner and take care of every nook and corner of the household. And the man is working outside, he takes care of other external things. But at home, the Grahini actually takes care of everything that is required for the household. Grahastha is working outside, the man, and the Grahini is working at home, taking care of everything of the household affairs, every nook and corner of the household things, right? So, similarly, the Lord has assigned all this household thing. What is this household thing? The household things of this world, this material world, to this perfect grihini. That energy is this mamamaya duratyaya, this external energy of the Lord is the perfect grihini, which is an expansion of Lakshmi Devi again. So it is taking care of this world perfectly. Now the question comes, this is very difficult to understand. Many people say that, what is this? Krishna is saying that this energy belongs to him, and this energy, the duty of this energy is to keep all the people in illusion and bewilder them. And then Krishna is saying that, okay, now if you can somehow surrender to me, then you can get out of this illusion. How is this possible? First of all, he is himself creating this illusory energy, Maya. He's putting us into this energy, under the influence of this energy. And then he's telling that if you surrender to me, then you will get out of this. Now, when we are in Maya, how is it possible that we will be able to surrender to Krishna, and which is created by Krishna himself? So it is so difficult. First of all, it is Duratyaya. Krishna himself is saying it is very difficult to overcome. He is creating this and then asking us to surrender to him. What a contradictory statement it is. Is it not? So very difficult to understand. People say this is not right. What Krishna is doing is not right. He's putting us in illusion, creating this energy, and then telling us to surrender. This is very unfair, isn't it? So that is why when Krishna says all these things, there will be a lot of different depths to understanding these things. Because Krishna, when he's saying that, he actually wants people to come back to him, but with thorough tests. So this energy, this Maya, is actually testing our purity. Because only when you become Pavitra, then you can actually go to the Pavitra Dhama, that is the Golok Vrindavana. Without become Pavitra, pure, how can we actually enter that pure Dhama? So this energy is actually testing us. So only when we go through this test of Maya and become free from Maya, the illusory energy, that is when we can actually enter the spiritual world. But then, when this is all created, Krishna is also going to explain in the next verse that who are those people who cannot actually surrender to me. He is asking us to surrender so that if we surrender to him, then we will be able to escape this Maya. But now Krishna is going to explain why people cannot escape this Maya. Who are those people who cannot escape this Maya? That is what Krishna is going to explain in the next verse. So, Uma Kumar, you can unmute yourself and let's get the next
Yes, okay,
verse.
Prabhuji.
This is 15th verse, very interesting verse. So let's chant. Namam dushkritino mudaha
Namam dushkrishino modaha
prapadyante naradamaha
prapadyante naradamaha
mayaya pratajnana
mayaya pratajnana
asuram bhavamashtritaha.
ashuram bhavamasrutaha.
Once again, namam dushkritino mudaha
Namam dushkritino modaha
प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमः
prapadyante naradamaha
मायया अप्रतज्ञान
maya pratajnana
आसुरं भावमाश्रितः.
ashuram bhavamasrutaha.
Wonderful. So please read the translation.
Though those miserants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the aesthetic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me.
Thank you very much. So here Krishna is explaining something very interesting. What is that? He's saying that Namam Duskritino Mudaha. So there are four categories of people who will not surrender to Krishna. Who are those four categories of people? Who are these dushkritis? Kriti means good deeds, good fame, and everything, good pious activities. Dushkriti means impious activities. So now, namam dushkritino mudaha. Mudaha means grossly foolish. Prapadyante Naradamaha. Naradama is second category, who is actually the lowest of the mankind. Maya, Mayaya Apratagnana. Those people whose intelligence is bewildered. And then Asuram Bhavamashritaha. Those who are demoniac in nature. So now, when Krishna is categorizing these people, it is based on the state of their mind, what kind of consciousness they have. It is not simply based on their externals, but these are the people who have this kind of inclinations in their consciousness. So let us understand now all these different types of people. So here, basically, prapadyante naradamaha. So this dushkriti, who is this dushkritis? Dushkritis mean these are people who are having this papa swabhavaha. These people who have the tendency or an inclination towards committing sins, more and more sins. So these are dushkritis. So this is one thing we should understand. All the people who have all the sinful tendencies, these are dushkritis. Now, when we talk about sinful tendencies or sins, basically in Krishna consciousness, we have understood that the four types of sins that we always discuss about, that is no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and no illicit sex. So we all have to follow these regulative principles. Only then we will not become dushkritis. So this is a very important thing. So that is why we have these dharmic principles. Okay, now you want to enjoy, okay, you can get married and there can be a nice relationship between husband and wife, and then they can unite to produce good children. So that is under the code of dharma. Then you are not called dushkriti. But when you act outside of this, then that is when we become dushkriti. So then dushkriti means then there will be a problem. That is a problem. Then also meat eating. Meat eating is a big problem, right? These days, so many animals are getting cut. Most of the restaurants and everything that we see, most of them are non vegetarians. So many animals are getting killed for the satisfaction of the tongue. And it is so intense that people ruthlessly are killing animals. So much. And this same thing had happened earlier also. In the name of Shastras, in the name of scriptures, animals were killed by the people. After Mahabharata, so many animals were getting killed because of sacrifice. In the name of sacrifice, in the name of Vedas, they were killing a lot of animals. So a lot of these things were happening, and that is why Buddha had to incarnate. Lord Buddha personally came, and his only motto, his mission was Ahimso Paramo Dharmo. Ahimsa Paramo Dharma. So Ahimsa became the prime dharma of the time of Buddha, because Buddha introduced Ahimsa because so many animals were getting killed. That's why there is a very, very beautiful verse also in the Jayadeva Goswami Dashavatara Stotra, in that we very nicely sing also. निन्दसि यज्ञविधेरः श्रुतिजातम् सदय हृदयदर्शितपशुघातम् केशवधृता बुद्धशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे Jai Jagadish Hare. So, why Buddha came? Nindasi Yagna Vidher Aha Shuti Ghatam Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashu Ghatam. So, Pashu Ghatam, all this animal killing was happening. So, Buddha came and said, nothing doing. I'm going to take it off. There should not be any animal killing, and that's why he rejected the Vedas. So, regulative principles are important. So no meat eating, no gambling. Gambling again, so much of confusion we know. Because of this gambling match, so much they had to suffer, all the Pandavas. Dushkriti, that Dushkriti, little bit of act of theirs. Although they were very great devotees, but then because they acted a little bit, it is to show all of us that how it can bring a lot of trouble, even to good people, if you engage in gambling, right? And intoxication, so many lives are getting spoiled because of the drugs. A lot of youngsters today are getting into the drugs. Even the school students are getting into drugs, and there is so much of confusion. They are losing their strength, and they're losing their clear thinking because of drugs. So it is very unfortunate situation, right? So these are the different types of these dushkritis. Now, this Muda means grossly foolish. He is a beast. He is simply walking on the orders of someone. Mudaha. Although he has so much of opportunity to earn his own livelihood and nicely become happy, but he will be dependent on someone, and he is having no clear intelligence. Aviveki, basically, he has no intelligence. He is grossly foolish. No matter how much you try to make him understand the reality of life or understand that there is so much of opportunity, he will not understand because he is a mudaha. Prapadyante naradamaha. Naradamaha means, nara means human, nara adhama means the lowest human. So now in the 84 lakh species, there are 4 lakh species of human being, and the lowest among these 4 lakh species is Naradhama. Who are these Naradhama? Basically, those people who do not accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, who do not understand the position of God. These are the lowest of the men, Naradhama. So very, very dangerous, right? Then there are this Maya Aprata Jnana. So this Maya Aprata Jnana people are those people who have no intelligence. This Maya Aprata Jnana, these are the people, intelligence means true, they have a lot of intelligence, but they are misled. These people are great philosophers, they are scientists and a lot of intellectuals, big think tanks. They're all working very hard somehow to create some solutions which can solve the problems of human beings. They are working day and night, and this is going on since time immemorial. So many decades and centuries have passed, and people are trying to become happy using their intelligence. But unfortunately, whenever they come up with some solution, the solutions are themselves becoming a big problem. So, actually, in one sense, they are not finding a solution, but they are just coming up with creative problems. You know, we always have heard about creative solutions, but nowadays people are coming with creative problems. A problem which will solve some situation, some small things temporarily, but then it's going to come back in a big form and again attack us. They are just creating a lot of creative problems. So these are the people, Maya Pratajnana, they do not have the true intelligence and no proper knowledge. And in fact, they are having no jnana, because jnana means, we have understood in the previous session, jnana means one who understands Krishna. Jnana refers to that meaning where knowledge means to understand Krishna, to see everything in connection with Krishna. That is jnana. So these people, because they do not understand everything in connection with Krishna, that is why it is Maya Apratajnana. They are influenced by Maya. So now, then these are the next category of people where Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. Asuram. Asu or Asu means senses. Now, all those people whose life's goal is only to satisfy their senses, gross and subtle senses, those whose mission of life is only to satisfy the senses, these are the people who are called Asuram. These are the asuras. Asu means senses, and asuram or asuram means those people who are only thinking of sense enjoyment, sense gratification. So, asuram bhavam ashritaha. Now, just see, this is very, very important. If we carefully understand these 4 categories of people, these dushkritis, who are those? Those mudas, naradhamas, maya pratajnana, asuram bhavam ashritaha. All these 4 categories of people are called dushkritis. They all belong to the category of dushkritis. Now, dushkriti means those people who are demoniac in nature. So now Krishna is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, be careful. He's telling us and giving these categories of people, mentioning about these categories of people, so that we understand what is our position, where do we belong to, right? So that is why it is important that how these categories of people are always against Krishna. These four categories of people, they do not surrender to Krishna. So Krishna is giving, who are those people who do not surrender? These are the four categories of people who will never surrender to Krishna. So the best example is Duryodhana in Mahabharata. If you carefully see Duryodhana, he is such a Mudaha. Why is Mudaha? Because he was so foolish. The Lord Himself gave him so many indications, showed him the Vishwarupa. Still, he could not understand the position of Krishna. He wanted to bind Krishna and he wanted to fight against Krishna. Just see, this Muda, Duryodhana, was so foolish. He could not understand the position of Krishna. And Naradhama, why is he Naradhama? Also because so many nefarious activities he has done, like giving poison, like trying to insult Draupadi, and so many things like that. Naradhama. And Maya Pratajnana. When the Pandavas were in exile, they were always associating with the great saints. They always wanted to gain more and more knowledge from the Rishi Munis. But what was this doing? This Duryodhana was always engaged in sense gratification, always doing something nefarious. Even the great rishis came to him, he never cared about him. You see, he always had some self interest in dealing with the sadhus also. That is why when even the great rishi who you know who wanted to curse, not wanted to curse, but who went with his disciples, just beating my memory, you know, who wanted to go to the Pandavas and along with his disciples, he wanted to ask for food, and Draupadi had no food. It's all over. What's the sage name? Uma Kumar, do you remember? Just it's been long time somehow.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, so you see, so now this Duryodhana was always having this kind of an attitude, Maya Pratajnana and Asuram Bhavamashrita, always enjoying his senses. You see, always wanted to enjoy lot and lot of money. He had so much, he was such a big king, but still he wanted more. He was having that Asuram Bhava. Now, this Duryodhana, it's not that he was not aware of dharma. In his own words, in Mahabharata, it comes very nicely. It is said that Duryodhana, when he was asked that, okay, why are you acting like this against the Pandavas? Pandavas are, after all, your brothers. They are the sons of your uncle Pandu, and they are actually a part of this family. Why are you against them so much? Are you not afraid of wrong things? Are you not aware of dharma? That is when Duryodhana says very nicely, Janami dharmam na chale pravritihi, Janami adharmam na chale nivritihi. Just see, he's saying that Janami dharmam na chale pravritihi. I know dharma, Janami, I know, I understand dharma very well. But na chale pravritihi. I will not do or perform any sort of dharma. And Janami adharmam, I also understand adharma, na chale nivritihi. But I will not give up acting on adharma. Just see. He is like that. And such people, in spite of having knowledge of dharma, when they do not act, such people are called dushkritis. When you have an ability or you have an understanding and then you do not act on that, that is when you actually become a dushkritinaha. So each one of us, we should also understand that when we are having a certain ability, the Lord has given certain ability to all of us, and when we do not utilize that ability, that kriya shilataha, which is in each one of us, when we do not use that kriyashilataha, then what happens is we fall into this category of dushkritinaha. Why? Because when you have that seed of a certain ability in you, seeds are meant to sprout. When the seeds sprout, that is Prakriti. And when you do not use that seed and simply spoil the seed, then that is unnecessary disturbance, and that is not Prakriti. It is against Prakriti. Spoiling is Vikriti. And creating and sprouting is Prakriti. So when you have an ability and then you sprout that ability in a nice way, that is Prakriti. Krishna wants you to act on the abilities that he has given you, not simply have that ability and not use it. That is Dushkritinaha. Just like Duryodhana, he had the understanding of Dharma, but he was not acting on it. So we may also have a certain understanding, a certain ability, and if we do not use it, simply spoil that seed and follow what is simply told by our crazy mind, then the problem will come. We will fall into the category of Dushkriti. And here specifically, this is being told with Akrosha. Krishna is saying this word, this particular shloka, with little Akrosha, little anger in him. Why? Because he doesn't want Arjuna to fall into the category of Dushkritinaha. Arjuna is a great Kshatriya. He has the ability to fight. He's a great warrior. But then, if he does not act on that ability, then he will fall into the category of Dushkritinaha. So that is why when we have ability, we should work hard. So this particular thing is not simply specifically mentioned to Duryodhana because it is the context of Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata. This is not only to mention about Duryodhana. We should also contemplate and understand: are we really becoming Dushkritinaha in one way or the other way? So you or we all will become Dushkritinaha when we actually think only about sense gratification, because that asuram bhava will come into us. Otherwise, if we have the ability and we are not acting on that ability, then we will fall again into the category of dushkritinaha. So important it is, when we have an ability, we should work and act upon it. That is extremely important. Sometimes there will be difficulty. Asuram bhavamashritaha. There will be a situation where certain external energies and forces will act upon us so that we don't follow the path of dharma. That is another thing. For example, in the case of Karna, now Karna, when he was before this fight, when there was this peace proposal and everything was going on, Lord Krishna approaches Karna. Can you imagine Lord himself is going to Karna and talking to him and saying that you are also a Kunti Putra, Kunti Putra. You are the eldest of the Kunti Putra. Actually, Karna has tears in his eyes. He understands that yes, I am actually the eldest. Krishna told that you, as an eldest, you will get the throne. You are the rightful uh, person to get the throne. All these things were proposed to him, but then Karna said, "No, no, I have given my word to this Duskritinaha Duryodhana. I have given my word and I will not accept. There will be only Pancha Pandavas, there will not be six Pandavas." He tells this to Krishna. Just see how foolish he is. Pandavas means only five. And he was so against this Arjuna, he said that either Arjuna will be there or I will be there. But Pandavas, there should be only five. This was his attitude. And why did he act like this? This is Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. This Karna, actually, he is actually the son of the sun god, Surya Devata. But in his previous life, this Karna was actually this Sugriva. In Ramayana, we have this character Sugriva, and Karna is actually an incarnation of this Sugriva. Now, Sugriva, what did he do? He, using the strength of Lord Rama, he killed his elder brother Vali. And because of killing his elder brother, this Sugriva, he actually got influenced by a demon, an asura called Sahastra Kavacha. So this Sahastra Kavacha actually had taken Avesha into Sugriva. And that is why, even when he was born as Karna, he had this influence of Sahasra Kavacha, and that's why he had this shield also. This is one of the Kavacha that he had. Out of Sahasra Kavacha, this Sahasra Kavacha had lost 999, only one was left, and that was one was with Karna. And this Sugriva in Ramayana explains this very beautifully that when Sugriva became the king, Sugriva forgot the promise that he had given to Lord Rama. And the promise was to search Mother Sita for 4 months. He did not do anything. He was simply busy with his family, enjoying the kingdom. He forgot the promise that he had given to Lord Rama. He was totally neglecting Lord Rama. This was the situation of Sugriva. Now you can imagine Sugriva, even in Ramayana, he had acted like that. He had neglected the Lord. And here, the same Sugriva, when he appears as Karna, he is again neglecting the words of Krishna. Why? Because Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha. That Asura had taken Avesha, had taken shelter of this particular Karna. And that is how, very sadly, he loses his life later on because he did not understand the position of Krishna. So asuram bhavam ashritaha. So many times it is possible that we may also get influenced by so many negative forces and we may be compelled to do something wrong. Very much possible. So that is why we should be always in the association of devotees because devotees will protect us because that association of devotees will act like a fence. So that is extremely important. And Arjuna is being asked here to not fall into the category of Dushkritina. And it is not just to Duryodhana, it is being referring to all of us. Krishna is telling this so that we understand whether we are falling into one of these categories. So we should not fall into any of these categories. That is what we should understand. So when Krishna is saying this with so much of akrosha, we should know that there is so much of pain that he has when he sees people with ability are not utilizing that ability. So now people will again say and comment, oh, what is this? Prabhuji, even Krishna has anger and akrosha. What kind of Krishna is he? He's telling and talking about so many dushkritinahas. He's defining these people, but he himself is also becoming angry. No, Krishna's anger is not a dosha. Krishna's anger is out of vatsalya. Please understand that Krishna's anger is out of his care for all of us. Just like a mother, when she is strict towards her children, it is for the benefit of the children. It is not that she personally is angry on the children, she wants to beat them. No, it is out of love. So, similarly, Lord also, out of love, he is expressing this anguish, he's expressing this akrosha so that we understand the gravity of these four kinds of people, dushkritinahas, who do not surrender to Krishna. Right? So, with this, let's go and understand the next verse, which is again very interesting and exactly opposite to the verse that we just discussed. So, let us discuss this very nice verse, 16th verse. So, Uma Kumar, you can unmute yourself and let's chant the 16th verse. Very
Yes,
interesting,
Prabhu.
this is.
Yes, Prabhu.
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां
जनाः सुकृतो नो अर्जुन
जनाः सुकृतो अर्जुन
आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी
आर्तो जिज्ञासुरार्थाति
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ.
ज्ञानी च भरतस्य वा
Once again, चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां
जनाः सुकृतिनो अर्जुन
जनाः सुकृतो अर्जुन
आर्थो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी
आर्तो जिज्ञासुरार्थाति
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभा.
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, this is another very interesting verse, and in this verse, Krishna is talking about four types of people who actually surrender to him. So, in the previous verse, he said, those people who do not surrender, but here he is going to explain about four types of people who actually surrender to him. Now, this is very, very interesting, very nice. And who are those people? Chaturvidha bhajante mam janah sukritino arjuna, sukritino arjuna. So these are the very pious people. Who are these pious people? Artho, Jignasur, Artharthi, and Jnani. So these four types of people are one who are going to surrender to the Lord. Artho. So who are these people? Artho. Artho means those people who have a lot of problems in life, those people who are distressed in life. Artho. Now, distress can be caused because of the tapatrayas, right? Now, there are these, when we say tapatraya, it is basically Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika, and Adi Daivika Kleshas. So, these tapatrayas are always influencing and putting people into distress. So, artho means a person who is very much distressed. And this distress can be caused even because of all the diseases he's undergoing. So, many times people are afflicted with so much of disease and they are in pain. And this situation, this condition is called artho. So people, when they are deeply suffering because of some illness, they have tried every best medicine, every best doctor, and finally, talking to so many people, they understand that okay, now I should go to God and maybe God can help me. I'm in a distress condition. I'm suffering so much. At least now let me go and surrender to Krishna. So these are the people, artho. They have so much of suffering, and to get rid of the suffering, they go to Krishna, artho. And then there are the next type of people who are also artharthi. Artharthi means those people who are actually interested in money. They're always wanting some benefit. They are having a lot of financial problems, lot of difficulties in life because of no finances, and they want to earn wealth and they are not able to. And that is when, in this kind of condition, to acquire wealth, they approach the Lord, Artharthi. Then there is Jignasur, those who are interested in gaining knowledge. They also approach Krishna, they surrender to Krishna. Those who are always looking and seeking out for greater knowledge, some transcendental knowledge, like all of us here, we are coming here and trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. We are trying to become Jignasu, right? We are all trying to be inquisitive, those who are inquisitive about knowing what is truth about life, what will happen to me after death, what is my origin. All these inquisitive questions, when people have, then such people will gradually they approach Krishna, Jignasu, even the mildest, unnoticed, and a remote Jignasu question that comes into people's mind. The Paramatma within the heart will notice that and he will somehow direct this Jignasu towards him. The Lord is very careful and always sensing these kind of inquisitiveness in the jivas, in the living entities. And moment when somebody inquisitively asks some questions, then Krishna will direct him within the heart to a special spiritual master who will guide him accordingly. Then Gnani is one who is acquiring the knowledge, and also he's acting on it, and he wants to get liberated. So all these four categories of people, who are distressed, who are inquisitive, who are in seeking a lot of material profits and wealth, and at the same time those who are acquiring knowledge, who wants to acquire knowledge and get liberated, all these people are actually going to surrender to Krishna. And Prabhupada, he explains that how this Artho and Artharthi, they mostly refer to Grahasthas. Mostly the Grahasthas are the one who suffer a lot, and at the same time they are in need of money constantly. Whereas the Jignasur and Jnani, they are mostly for Tyagis. When I say Tyagis, it's basically Prabhupada explains that it is those who are brahmacharis and sannyasis. So these are the people who are Jignasur and Jnani. So Artho and Artharthi, these are there, who generally are Grahasthas, and they are lower than those who are Jignasur and Jnani. Jignasur and Jnani people are much better than those who are Artho and Artharthi. So Artho means distressed people. Artharthi means those who are seeking wealth. Now, does this mean that we are not supposed to earn money? Are we not supposed to acquire wealth? Because Krishna is saying Artharthi, they are just for the sake of money, they are going and approaching Krishna. So just see, Krishna is saying that even if you want to earn money and wealth, you can approach Krishna. You surrender to Krishna. Even for your material benefits, you can surrender to Krishna. A small child is there, he wants some toys or he wants to eat something. Will he go and ask anyone on the street, okay, give me this, give me that? No, he will go to his parents and parents will fulfill it. He will not run here and there. The others will simply neglect him. But when he has a certain desire, he will go and ask the parents. So similarly, he has devotees. When we are in need of something, why go here and there to the demigods? Let's go to the Lord. That's why he's saying that Chaturvida bhajante mam. Mam means you come to me, not to the demigods and devatas. So here very nicely Krishna is saying that even if you are in need of material wealth, you can approach me. Now there is a very, very nice, beautiful analogy, or there is a beautiful pastime that comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have heard about this Shamantaka money, this Shamantaka jewel, which was with the king Satrajit. Satrajit had acquired it from the Surya Devata, and this money was very, very powerful. Anywhere, any city, any town, this money is kept. There will be no famine and there will be no disturbances, natural calamities. But at the same time, the special characteristics of this Shamantaka money was it would produce a lot of gold every single day. Now, this Shamantaka money could make anyone rich, and Satrajit was really becoming very wealthy. Now, Satrajit ultimately became the father-in-law of Krishna because Satrajit's daughter was Satyabhama, and now there was some confusion, and the pastime goes very beautifully, and somehow this Shamantaka money, it vanishes, and Balarama was very inquisitive to know from Krishna that where did this Shamantaka money go. In fact, he was becoming angry on Krishna and telling him, tell me, where is this Shamantaka money now? Whom did you give? So constantly Krishna was trying to avoid, but you know what? Krishna had actually given it to Akrura. Now Akrura was such a great devotee of the Lord, but he had this tinge of desire to acquire and have this Shamantaka money. Not that for his own personal benefit, but Akrura, being the devotee, he was constantly engaged in lot of yagna, havana, dana. So he was in need of money, and that is why Krishna had given the Shamantaka money to Akrura. So one fine day, Krishna says, okay, Akrura, now you please come and tell Balarama that you have this and it's with you. So you see how when somebody has a specific desire to acquire money or anything, that they can still approach Krishna, and Krishna gave and he fulfills that desire, you see. So Krishna actually gave this. His wonderful Shamantaka money was given to his great devotee Akrura. And a similar thing if we see, even in Ramayana also, in the Ramayana, there is this pastime when Lord Rama has come to the southern borders when he wanted to cross this Lanka. And at that time, Vibhishana, because of being offended at the palace of Ravana, Vibhishana, he comes to take shelter of Lord Rama. And now, when he comes to take shelter of Lord Rama, Rama did not accept immediately. He asked all his other Vanarasena. He asked, okay, this person has come from the opposite side, he has come from the enemy side, right? So now all these vanaras, when they saw him, they were against his being a part of our team, this Rama's team. They were saying this is Shatru Paksha Agataha. They all said Shatru Paksha. He's from the Shatru Paksha. We should not take him inside. We should not take him. Then, when all this Vanarasena, they denied, and then finally Lord Rama asked Hanuman. Hanuman said, he can be a part of our team. He can be a part of our army. Hanuman said, why? Hanuman said, although he is from the other party, but you see, he has the desire also to become the king of all this different asuras there, all these people who belong to the Ravana lineage, the demonic lineage. He has the desire to become the king, and as long as Ravana is there, he cannot become the king. Now, that doesn't mean that Vibhishana was a non devotee. Vibhishana was a great devotee of Lord Rama. But at the same time, it was noticed by Hanuman that he has this desire to become the king also. And that is why Hanuman said, because he has this desire, and his desire will be fulfilled only if he is there with us, he will not cheat us. So, with that condition, we can take him in our army. So, this was the logic that Hanuman gives, and that is how Vibhishana became a part of Lord Rama's army, and then later on, he was put on the throne of Sri Lanka. You see? So, what happened now? Even there, in this case of Vibhishana, he had this desire to acquire the kingdom, and Lord fulfills that. So, why am I saying this? Is because as grihasthas, we should not we should not think that okay, spirituality means we should give up our roles and responsibility, and we should not earn money. No, that's not the case. So each one of us, to our best capacity, we should not give that ability to earn. We should actually try and enjoy whatever is being allotted to us in our quota in this particular human form. So that should be taken care of properly, and we should not neglect it. So then, of course, Jnani cha Bharatarshaba. So these are a few things that Krishna has explained here. And now, this Jignasi is Atato Brahma Jignasa. Jignasu doesn't mean that you become Jignasa of only eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Jignasu means one who is inquisitive about knowing the Brahman. What is the Supreme Brahman? Right? So that is Jignasu. And Jnani means, of course, you know that who is acquiring knowledge and who wants to get liberated from this material world. Then that is why Krishna is, although he is mentioning that these are the four categories of people, Sukritinahas, who actually take shelter of me, who surrender to me, who approach me. But this is not in the category of the pure devotion. Pure devotion is beyond this specific thing that Krishna has explained here. Pure devotion means Anyabilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. So, pure bhakti means Anyabilashita shunyam. There is no abhilashas, no material desires. Now, all these people who this Chaturvida Bhajante Mam, they have certain abhilasha, they have a desire that, okay, cure me from this distress, give me some wealth, or my Lord, please satisfy my intellectual ability, or give me some knowledge, All these people have certain inclinations or they have some material desires, but pure devotion is free from all these abhilashas, materialistic abhilashas. Anukulyana Krishnanushīlanam Bhaktiruttama. We do only those things which are meant for bhakti. So that is what is pure devotion. That is why Pavitram Bhavan. We can go to the Pavitra Dhama only when we become Pavitra, pure. Purity means not having any material desires. So this is what we should understand. This is very, very important. So in this session, we have actually understood what are the four categories of people who do not surrender to Krishna. And in the 16th verse, Krishna is explaining those people who surrender to Krishna. So now, with this analysis, you can put yourself in one of the categories. Now, a single person can have all these four categories or four types of consciousness within him. It's very much possible. A single person can act like a jignasu, he can act like a artho or artharthi, or he can become a jnani. Very much possible. A person can go into different phases at different points of time. Similarly, the dushkritinas also. They also, like Duryodhana, we mentioned that all the four categories there, all the four dushkritina tendencies were there in Duryodhana. So similarly, now with knowing this, we can actually put ourselves and categorize, okay, what are the things that I am supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do. If I'm doing this, then I am actually a dushkritinaha. And if I'm doing this, then I am actually a sukritinaha. So whether we fall in the category of sukritinaha or we follow or fall in the part of dushkritinaha, it is what Krishna has explained. We have to analyze with this knowledge that Krishna is giving us. So Krishna is making it very clear for us to analyze our own self. It is not only meant to refer to Duryodhana, it is actually meant to help us to understand what is our position when it comes to surrenderance to Krishna. So this is the most important thing. This is what we have to understand from this particular shlokas 15 and 16. And of course, there are many more things that we are going to discuss going forward. We'll try to understand some more aspects of this particular shlokas, and we will continue our discussion. So, Uma Kumar, do you have any questions?
Not related to this, Guruji. Guruji, chakras, how it is going to help in spiritual life, Guruji?
Which one? The
Chakras.
seven chakras?
Yes, Guruji.
The seven chakras are basically the seven energy centers within our body. And now the prana, the pranavayu, which is constantly moving, which is actually energizing these seven chakras. And when we become more and more spiritual, these chakras, they start exhibiting more and more power. They start exhibiting more and more energy, the spiritual energy. There is the kundalini also. So the kundalini is like a lotus flower, which is situated in the pelvic region. So what happens is when you become very spiritual and when you are advancing in spiritual life, then there is kundalini jagrat. This there is the opening of the lotus. So when this lotus, this kundalini is completely jagrat, then it has the capacities to store all the cosmic energy that is coming, and you become very, very potent, very, very powerful. So this opening of the kundalini jagrat can be done only by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in this particular yuga. There are a lot of yoga systems and everything which are quite difficult, but then in our case, we just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and automatically this kundalini will become jagrat, it will get awakened. And once it is awakened, it will energize all the seven chakras also. And that is how you will not be affected much with all the external disturbances, the diseases and this and that. You will not be affected so much because you are quite powerful, and you become very awakened of the situations and the reality. You start seeing things as they are. The intelligence becomes very clear. So all these seven chakras, when they are purified properly with proper devotion, when we chant Hare Krishna mantra, then you will see a lot of difference. So these are the byproducts, the energizing the the seven chakras and the Kundalini are byproducts of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when we
Okay.
chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, automatically all these things are taken care of. But when we talk about chanting attentively with devotion, only then this all Kundalini Jagrata and the centers, the seven chakras will become powerful and awakened. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay.
Yes. Any other questions?
Nothing, Prabhuji.
Great, wonderful. So I hope we have clarified some of these things today. We have discussed something very interesting. You can always go back and you can listen to it whenever you
Yes,
want, and
Prabhuji.
you can share this also
Yes,
to
Prabhuji.
all your friends and family members so that they also get a chance to listen to these things. So with this, we will end our session today,
Yes,
and we
Prabhuji.
will continue again from the next Sunday. And let us see what Krishna is going to explain in the next verses. It's going to be
Yes,
very
Prabhuji.
interesting.
In
Okay, all right. So,
Spotify, one
yeah,
thing, in Spotify, I'm listening Secrets of Success every day, Prabhuji, morning while going walk or jogging. Daily, I will
okay.
morning, I will go jog, walk, or I will do yoga. Every day, I will listen.
Uh,
Really, really, that is one kind of life changing, Prabhuji. So many
Thank you very
things.
much. So, this is
I
something that all of you can also who are listening to this. Uma Kumar has been listening to all the sessions on Secrets of Success in Spotify. You can all subscribe to this Secrets of Success on different podcast channels, or you can also listen to the sessions here. So Spotify and other podcast channels like uh, Anchor FM, of course, Anchor FM distributes it to the Apple Podcast, the Google Podcast. You can also see them and hear them in Podbean. So Castbox also I'm uploading. So these are the few platforms where you can listen to all these Bhagavad Gita sessions, and you can also subscribe to these. And you like them, you can also share with others so that people will also get benefit out of this. So thank you very much, and we'll also upload the recent podcast and these sessions very soon. So stay tuned, and we will meet again next Sunday. Take
okay,
care.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.